Johnny Fisher absolutely brutalized by Dave Allen in 5 rounds. Dave Allen knocks Johnny Fisher out cold. Now, that was one of the most incredible and one of the most devastating and clinical knockouts you will ever see. I mean, Dave Allen started this whole knockout with a left to the body and then a left uppercut, and that reminded me of Mike Tyson, and that's the sort of combination that Mike Tyson used to throw. Johnny Fisher was just in all sorts of bother. Dave Allen then hits Johnny Fisher with an overhand right. Johnny Fisher goes down, he takes the knee, he takes the count, he gets up. Dave Allen goes to work, he hits Johnny Fisher with 2 left hook, then comes down with a left and a right to the body, and then comes up with a left hook that absolutely destroyed Johnny Fisher, and down went Johnny Fisher on his face, and he was not getting up. He was, the referee did not even administer a count. The referee waved it off. Johnny Fisher's team threw the towel in. It was just an absolutely incredible knockout. And, for many people, redemption. For Dave Allen, redemption. Looking at what happened in the first fight and what has happened now, you could see that Dave Allen was the better fighter in both fights. Now, one thing that really surprised me in this fight is the fact that Johnny Fisher started boxing on a back foot. And I don't understand why he would do that, because that has never been his style. Boxing on a back foot and trying to keep a guy like Dave Allen at the end of a jab is really difficult. Not that Dave Allen is a top fighter or a world fighter, but if you're in there with a guy like Dave Allen that hits hard, right, that is tough, that has got experience more than you, if you're not able to keep him on the end of the jab, which is very stiff, like a run-rob jab, like a jab that is coming from, the likes of Larry Holmes, then you're in trouble. And if you can't keep a guy like Dave Allen away with a right hand to gain a respect early in the fight, then you're in serious trouble. And in this fight, we saw that Johnny Fisher did not have a great jab to keep Dave Allen off, and he also did not have the pop in the right hand to gain the respect of Dave Allen. And what we saw there was a devastating knockout, an emphatic knockout, a statement knockout, and a fight that Dave Allen deserved to win. Now, of course, the antics of Johnny Fisher's father did not do him any favors, because going into the fight, a lot of people, especially a lot of boxing fans on the internet, were willing and hoping that Dave Allen does the job because of Johnny Fisher's dad and the things that Johnny Fisher's team did after the first fight. But to be honest with you guys, the first fight, that decision in the first fight, is one of the worst decisions I have ever seen in boxing. For any judge to give that fight to Johnny Fisher, the first fight, was just an absolute disgrace. And it feels like justice was served in this fight. But look, the fight itself was a fight that Johnny Fisher was, sort of winning the rounds. Round 1, 2, and 3. Maybe round 4 you could go, Dave Allen was coming into the fight. Johnny Fisher was jabbing, although his jab was not very consistent and not very hard. He was still using the jab to win the rounds. But you knew that Dave Allen was going to come on strong, and he was going to, have his moments in the fight. And of course, as we saw there, lo and behold, in the 5th round, nearly at the end of the 5th round, Dave Allen's moment in the fight came, and he took it, right? He looked heavy, Dave Allen. He had come into the fight a bit heavier than he did in the previous fight. So you could see that he was coming for power. He was coming for the knockout, because he probably thought, I'm not going to get a win here, right? So what am I going to do? I'm going to get in there, I'm going to put on some weight, and I'm going to, stick it on this guy, and I'm going to knock him out, and I'm going to get him out of there, because that is the only way I can get a decision. And that is exactly what happened with Dave Allen winning this fight. Justice was served there. What does Dave Allen do next? What does Johnny Fisher do next? It is all up in the air. I mean, it doesn't really help when Dave Allen really isn't, I don't think Dave Allen's heart is in boxing. I think he's doing this because he's getting paid a lot of money, and therefore it's really, it's touch and go really what he does next. I mean, David Adeleye is available. You've got the likes of Fraser Clark, who is also available. So Dave Allen can go into that route and try and secure some really good fights over there. When it comes to Johnny Fisher, I really don't know where he goes from here, because I don't think Dave Allen is, Dave Allen's definitely British level, but not at the top of British level. Not, fighting the likes of Fabio Wortley, right? Not at all, not at that level. So if you've been beaten by a guy like Dave Allen, where do you go from there? Because Dave Allen doesn't rate himself as a top fighter, and Johnny Fisher is a good ticket seller, and therefore there was a lot of hype behind him. But where do you go from here in a fight where you've been absolutely knocked out by a guy that is not at the top end of British level? What do you do? For me, he needs to get some, confidence building fights where he can knock some opponents out, where he can look good, where he can work on the jab a little bit more, where he can work on his footwork, where he can work on coming forward. Because for a guy that big, right, with good sort of range, he should be fighting on the front foot rather than fighting on the back foot, because that is not his strongest strength there. And tonight he was found out by Dave Allen, and he needs to polish his boxing skills to be able to come again. So look, it's not the end for Johnny Fisher. He just got knocked out. This happens a lot with fighters that are coming out. It's a learning experience for him. He's going to grow from that, and he's going to be a good fighter if he applies himself, and maybe win a British champion and maybe European champion and so forth. But he can come back again. And for Dave Allen, there are some good fights for him to make some money and then maybe call it a day, because I don't think his heart, as I said, is in boxing, and I don't think that he's got a lot left in him to fight at a higher level. But it's good to see Dave Allen get his win without any controversy, and it's good to see Johnny Fisher lose a fight that he can take experience from. Guys, when you lose, you take experience from that. And it's good that he will take experience from this loss and probably come back as a better fighter. But you guys get in the comment section and let me know what you thought about this fight. What was your prediction before the fight? And what do you think about Dave Allen having a redemption in this fight? As always, guys, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and leave your comments in the section below. And I'll see you guys on the next one.